Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek, and it is upon us. Star Trek Picard Season 3 has arrived in America and some other places. Episode 1 is called The Next Generation, aptly enough, although we only see one of the Next Generation crew, well, two, one other than Picard, in this episode, so it's a bit of a misnomer. Did enjoy it, but I do have some notes. But right, let's go through it, and spoilers ahead, or ahoy, or whatever. Aye aye, Captain, let's bring her about, and full speed ahead. There we go, blank screen. Right, it starts off, hang on, I'm going to have to do that. What's the skip button do? It's not doing anything, is the skip button. Right, so we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way. It begins, with the, as usual, the Star Trek ident that they've started putting, Paramount Plus started putting in front of all their Star Trek shows. There we go. It is very nice, I must admit. It's cool. Right, so it begins. If I can find the bloody thing. Oh, there you go. There you go. Does that look familiar? In the 25th century. And I'm not talking about Buck Rogers. Obviously, it's the same font, or a very similar font, to what we saw at the beginning of Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. And that began in the 23rd century, didn't it? So we're 200 years. Well, near, not quite. 2285, I think. Star Trek 2, and they were in 2502, so 117 years in the future from Star Trek 2. I'm waffling. Right, so it begins. Right, it begins with the music that I'm going to set the world on fire. That song, I don't know it. My son came in and said, "Oh, that's at the beginning of Fallout 3." So, there you go. I wouldn't know, I've not played it. But I remember it being at the beginning of Season 1 of Star Trek Picard, and I thought, oh. Although we did see the Enterprise D then, but we don't see the Enterprise D. Why? Oh, it is working now. Why has that gone off? Why has that gone off? Oh, it's come back on again. Oh, it doesn't work, never mind. Stupid skip button doesn't work. Right, never mind. We'll just, I'll just skip it forward a little bit. We see a ship. I don't know what sort of ship it is. I don't even know what it's called. Answers on a postcard, please. I'm sure the information's out there, but we see nebulae and stuff like that. It's all very pretty. There you go, there's the ship. I don't know what it is. I was a bit confused here, to be honest, because it looks like a decent-sized ship. Turns out it's not. It's actually really small. But from the, the nacelle configuration and the saucer section, it looks like a decent-sized ship, but it's only about, what? The equivalent, we see a shuttle docking with it later on, and it's only about what, 1, 2, 3, about 5 shuttle lengths long, so it's not a massive ship. So I don't know how many decks it has, probably only, I don't know, 3 or 4 maybe. Anyway, so we see it, and then we see another ship enter frame. There it is, and I said, oh, you can't see it. We'll do that. There it comes. See another ship enter frame, and I said, I bet that's a baddie, and it turns out it is. We saw it in the trailer, and then we cut to the inside, and we see things that remind us of Beverly Crusher. Remember, she used to do plants and stuff in her that episode, Cause and Effect, where we see her like trimming her little flowers. I think they're them. They repeat things over and over again. I think that's them. And we see a log from Jean-Luc Picard being played. So I've gone too far. Look. There you go, you see a string of pearls. Don't know what that represents. We see, you can't see them, they're behind me, but behind them, hang on, let's keep going. There you go. The masks, of actors, what do they call them? I don't know. What you see, like the BAFTA awards, that sort of thing. I don't know what they're called. I thought we might see some dancing shoes, but I never noticed any to give us another clue. But oh, there we go. There's the log. that's been read out in Picard's voice. I think it's from the Best of Both Worlds, when the Enterprise D's hiding in the nebula from the Borg. Is that one of them upright heaters? I don't know. Or fan, upright fan. I don't know what it is. What else happens? And there you go. There's another. Ooh, if I could zoom in on that, I'd probably be able to read that, but I can't. But it's just saying, Picard's reading it out. It said they're hiding in the nebula from the Borg. I think is that a hypo spray? I think it is. I think that's a hypo spray. Some more plants. And then we see Beverly wake up. Is that what we're seeing here? No. Beverly wakes up, an alarm goes off. She jumps out of bed. She runs to the bridge. She's looking well. She runs to the bridge and talking to the computer. And she's they're under attack. They're being boarded. Anyway, she shuts somebody in a room. And he's like, "Oh, let me in." And at first I thought, is it a crew member that she's just, leaving to die, at the hands of whoever's boarding the ship? But no, she was protecting this person, who we find out who it is later on. So she goes and gets herself a phaser rifle. See, started working now. Look there, baffling. She gets herself a phaser rifle. It's doing one bloody frame at a time, isn't it? When I want it to jump 5 seconds or something, it just does a frame at a time. Unbelievable. There you go. She's got herself a phaser rifle. Although, unless she picks up a different one, she might do later on. Well, I'll point it out later. Her fingers look a bit gnarly, don't they? I know she's getting on a bit, but bloody hell, Cheryl. Right, Keith Richards' fingers there, aren't she? Anyway, these chaps come on. They're speaking in an alien language. It does sound familiar to me, but I can't place it. But it's in an alien tongue. It's just noises basically. It's not like when you see Vulcan speaking or Klingon speaking. It's just like a guttural that sort of thing. So they come on, and then a firefight ensues. And she's obviously got a phaser rifle set at full, proper disintegrate, not just kill, it's on disintegrate, because she shoots one of them and disintegrates the poor bugger. And they're firing back. She gets hit, so she runs and gets something. She runs across there and gets some from over there, and I think it's another phaser rifle, but it might be I don't know if it's a different one. I think they look like standard issue, Starfleet phaser rifles, but Riker says something later. So anyway, all this is kicking off. I miss beams, I miss phaser beams. It's all these bloody pew-pews, innit? But Terry Metalis says the ships are going to have phaser beams. Anyway, so there you go, there's all this shooting's going on. Anyway, she shoots like a pipe, and that distracts, the attacker, the assailant. We're going to see it. Have we gone past that bit? Probably gone past it, knowing me. No, I think she's gonna do that now. And so he's shooting blindly, and she comes out of the mist and shoots him, or her, shoots them, and. See, I've gone too far. Look. Anyway, while it's down, shoots, don't vaporise them, but while they're down on the ground, injured, she vaporises them. And later on, it's a standard, well, it looks a standard Starfleet issue phaser rifle, doesn't it? But Riker later on says, "Have you ever seen a phaser, do this?" When he's examining, what's left, the ashes, what's left of this creature. So it must be modified in some way. Anyway, as we see, she's injured. We see her get hit in the shoulder, but then she's holding down in her lower abdomen. So she's been hit twice, and so she's injured. So she goes to the. Let's go back to the bridge again. We see a fella behind some glass going, "Let me in!" Or a shape going, "Let me in." And she does a scrambled message, myriad codec, and sends it to Admiral Jean-Luc Picard, and then she's saying, sending the message. So, and then it begins, Star Trek Picard, and actually I did kind of tear up a little bit because it's proper Star Trek music here. So I did tear up. Go on, keep going. And then it shows and we actually get a episode title when it's ready. Oh, never mind. See if I can land on it. There we go. Part 1. Oh no, I've noticed we've got stars moving as well. The Next Generation. Although, as I said, we only see three including Gates, including Crusher. We see 3 of the Next Generation crew. We've got Riker and Picard, the other 2. I think that's all I think that's all we see. Yeah, it is. So far. Right, so we cut to, I think we're in France next. Yes, we are. We're in Chateau Picard. We're seeing the Enterprise D, Picard's painting, and he's looking at it. And I forgot a name. I should have got this ready. Hang on. Laris, that just came to me. All right, never mind. Laris is with him, and it looks like he's leaving. He's leaving the chateau. I think that's what's happening. And he's moving away. And I think he's moving away with Laris. She says the name of a planet, but I can't remember what it is. He says he's going to send the painting to Geordie because he'd like it, because he's in charge of the Fleet Museum now. He's Geordie. And he says to a chap, he said, put this away, take this painting down and pack it away. And Larry says, don't touch it, because she doesn't want him to get rid of it. So I don't know if he's moving away with Larry, or if they're both moving away, or if she's moving out. But they seem to be packing. They're packing for something. So there's that. That's where he tells this chap to pack the painting away, and then she tells him not to. And she's gorgeous, isn't she? All a Brady. She is. We'll see a bit more of her later. This is where he's telling her, he said he's going to write his memoirs, because it's all about his memories, and I think he holds the flute that he learned to play in the episode. Oh God, that one where he lives a whole lifetime in a day. I'll put it there. It's there. I'll put it there. I'll put it that way. No, that way. I'll put it over there. Why is my memory so stupid? When I start doing these, I do a freeze. My brain freezes up. From that episode, and I think he's kind of suggesting that he wants to get all that down. You'd have thought he'd have done it already, wouldn't you? I mean, he's had plenty of time, hasn't he? But so he's going to write his memoirs. There we see there's another Enterprise D, and he says it's his favourite. His favourite is the Enterprise D. I don't know. I thought I always had a soft spot for the Stargazer myself, but no, he's saying his favourite is Enterprise D. There's you can't see for me. Hang on. That's a Bajoran thing, isn't it? A Bajoran symbol. So I don't know what that represents. Did Ensign Rowe give him that? I don't know. Because he's fond of Bajor. I don't know why. He said it in, I think in Deep Space Nine, that first episode, he were fond of Bajor. Maybe it's just because of Ensign Rowe, I don't know. But she did betray him, so he thought he might feel a bit of animosity towards Bajor now, but maybe not. Or as he called it in Deep Space Nine episode 1, Bajor. Welcome to Bajor, Commander. Anyway, as you see, there's a fella there. He's packing up stuff. So obviously he's moving out of the chateau. Is it closing down, or is he just moving away and leaving it in the hands of somebody else? I don't know. There's the flute. The Inner Light. That's it. That's the name of that episode. The Inner Light. I think that's that flute that he learns to play. We see he plays it again in another episode, doesn't he, where he falls in love with that female. She's a scientist, didn't she? A commander. That ends up, you know, sending her away because she almost got killed, didn't she? And he didn't want that responsibility. But, you know, he didn't care about, you know, he didn't think that about Beverly and all them, did he? But never mind. So that's that. It's on about his memoirs and his friends and stuff like that. Right, so cut to night time. There's a storm brewing. I'm going to see it. I'm going to see some flashes. There you go. Some flashes of lightning in the distance. There's a storm coming. El Tempesto. I don't know. I can't speak Spanish. Sarah Connor. Right, so he's in his. There you go. He's sat in his chair and he hears a chirrup. You know, like a communicator chirrup. And he's like, "What's that?" And the computer. It's a computer. What's that noise? And the computer doesn't know. Not much of a good, not a very good computer, is it? Obviously, it's a domestic model, not a Starfleet one. So it goes rooting round, looking for where this chirruping coming from. And it's from his uniform. There you go, he finds it. His old, it must be his season 1 uniform. I don't know. I can't remember. But he asks, "What's this?" I don't know how he doesn't know, but the computer says it's a Starfleet comm badge issued to Jean-Luc Picard, and it's a star date 41. I think it's 41153. I think that was the star date in the first episode, Encounter at Farpoint. So that's a callback to that. So it's showing how old that one is. Anyway, the computer says it's got an encrypted message and it's got a password. And he thinks, well, what could the password be? And then for some reason it just pops in his head, Myriad. I don't know how he knew that, because later on we learn that Riker knows about it, but it was something that Picard didn't know about, unless he'd read about it afterwards, because Riker said they came up with that code, the Myriad codec, when he was assimilated by the Borg. So they had to think of something that he didn't already know, you know, that the Borg could make use of. So that's how they came up with that. So I don't know how he knows about it here, or maybe he read about it in the log. I don't know. After the fact. So there you go. So it gets the message, plays it back, and there she is. Very. I'm sorry, Gates. You know, Cheryl. You're Botoxed up to buggery, aren't you? I'm sorry. You know, I mean, you're a handsome woman, but you've had a lot of work done, love. Never mind. So she's telling him. You can see that she's hurt, she's injured, and she's scared, and she's saying she's sending coordinates. That's in with the encrypted with the message coordinates, and you know she wants him to come and help, but she says trust no one, not even Starfleet. And I thought, oh, here we go, Starfleet's the bad guy again. But it didn't work out like that. I don't think. I hope not. Anyway, but. You know, that's a bit... oh, there. Oh, by the way, there you go. There. I've just noticed it. You can't see it. Hang on. Let me move up. Where can I... Hang on, I'll get rid of me. Still can't see the bugger. There you go. Recognise that there. That's his curl... Oh, you can't see my bloody mouse thing. There we go. There you go. That's his Curlin Nescos, isn't it, that he got from Dr. Galen. Professor Galen, sorry. That he got from... wrong thing. Dead thick. That he got from Professor Galen, didn't he, in the episode The Chase. That's one of my favourites, is that. I love that episode. Anyway, so another Easter, another member berry. Got a lot of member berries in this. Which, you know, is okay in my book. As long as the good ones, and they're there, you know, they're there and they make sense, not just thrown in, you know, for no reason. You know, we know he's got a Curlin Nescos, and it should be one of his prized possessions because it's 14,000 years old, and his flute, you know, that's another of his prized possessions because he lived a whole lifetime, didn't he, as whoever his name was in the Inner Light. But anyway, she's telling him don't trust anybody, and then it goes off. So then he goes and talks to Laris, and she tells him to go. You've got to help her. She reminds him that she were an intelligence agent for the Tal Shiar. She's saying, so am I, you know, my instincts, tell me that you should go and help her. So, and we see that they're close. I don't know if are they a couple. I don't know. It doesn't make it explicitly clear. You get that impression they look very fond of each other, and who wouldn't be fond of Orla Brady? By gum. Anyway, so he decides to go. So anyway, so then we cut to in a minute after they've done there. She holds his old wrinkly face, and then we cut to. See, you've gone too far again. I groaned at this as well, actually. We'll start there. We cut to this, Enterprise D, an Eagle Moss model. Couldn't they do any better than that? Did they have to just show it, complete with the, the stand and the stuff that you get with an Eagle Moss? So is this an antique? It must be an antique. You'd thought they'd have made a bit of a snazzy stand for it, wouldn't you? So anyway, then we see it's Riker's in this bar. I don't know which bar it is. There goes other models there. More Eagle Moss models. Who I know more, sadly. I don't know if another company's stepped up to take over. I don't know, but never mind. Anyway, we see it's Riker, and he asks the young bartender about the mod. Why there's so many Enterprise Ds? And she says nobody wants to buy the fat ones. I thought the Enterprise D is not fat. It's very graceful. It's got fat in the cells, hasn't it? Maybe that's what she means. So he takes umbrage at that. He says that's a Galaxy class starship. But then Picard arrives. And I said their banter between each other is really, really good in this episode. Riker's, excellent in this episode. Is a bit irascible. Picard comes across as a bit, I don't know. Well, he comes across as a bit of an old man, to be honest. He's still got a bit of a twinkle in his eye, but the years are catching up to him. Even though he's a robot, don't forget. They don't mention that. They don't mention that he's a robot, but you get the feeling his better years are behind him. But Riker's, although he's greying, he's still Riker. Although he does moan later on about being old, and his knees are going. We'll see about that in a bit. So anyway, so Picard tells him about the. Sorry, they're having a drink. Picard tells Riker about the message from Beverly. And we learn that he hasn't spoken to Beverly for over 20 years. So I think the season 1 of Picard, it was supposed to be like 25 years or thereabouts, wasn't it? Since Star Trek Nemesis. So in that 5-year period, she left apparently, and she cut off ties with everybody. I think we'll learn why later on. But nobody's seen her. I don't know where she got the ship from, because it looked like a Starfleet ship, didn't it? But I don't know. I presume all will be made clear, I hope, anyway. So here is telling him all about it. So they've got to find a way to get there. Oh, Riker knows the code. He tells him about the Myriad codec. And he uses it on the information that Beverly sent, and it decodes, because she mentioned a star, Elbert or something, and if you decode that, it comes up with the I don't know, right-on system or whatever. Right-on. So to go to the right-on system, RYTON, I think that's what they said. So that's what they have to do, but they have to find a ship. So they've got to find a way to get aboard a ship and get it to the right-on system. Which is just outside Federation space. So Riker thinks he knows a way, so he's got a bit of a plan. But then we cut to... Hang on, I've got to show you that. Let's get rid of me again. I've got to get rid of that. No, hang on, I'll move it over a bit. Then we cut to Metallus Prime. Hubris. Naming a planet after yourself because you're the showrunner. Maybe so. obviously the showrunner and executive producer for season 3 is Terry Matalas, without the apostrophe and an A. So he's named a planet after himself, Matalas Prime. So here it is, lots of shuttles flying about. Lots of Starfleet shuttles flying about, actually, by the looks of it. But anyway, and then we cut to a city, very Blade Runner-y, a hooded figure that we find is... and there's people taking drugs through their eyes. There you go, I'm on drugs. So it's obviously a place of ill repute. This figure bumps into a chap who berates her, calls her a freak. And then she goes up to an Orion at this kiosk / bar. It's Raffi, by the way. We find out it's Raffi. She's wanting drugs off him, but then she wants information as well, and she's paying him. And he eventually, he doesn't want anything to do with it. He'll sell her drugs, but he won't give her any information. And she says she wants to get back into Starfleet. So any information he can give her will help. So anyway, he just says he's heard whispers about the Red Lady. So that's all he'll tell her. So she goes away with the drugs that she bought off him, which she then throws away. So she's obviously trying to sort herself out, isn't she? Although I'm sure in the trailer we saw her using the drugs. So maybe she goes off the wagon later on, I don't know. But so there you go. So she goes away and then she gets a communicator out, an old-fashioned, like a original series communicator. I know it's not, it's been done up, but it's not a com badge one. She gets that out and she says she wants a meeting because of this new information she's got, but then she's denied. And next we see her, there you go, that's her throwing away the drugs. Obviously you can see she's conflicted about it, but she does throw them away. Then we cut to Space Dock, which has been upgraded, hasn't it? It's got some extra bits added on since we saw it last. And then Riker and Picard are on a shuttle heading for Space Dock. See, Picard's fed up. He's not sure it's going to work. Riker says, it will, trust me. And he berates Picard and tells him that he wants to see, the old Picard with that face that he puts on. So anyway, he does it, and then they have a laugh. So they head inside Space Dock, and Riker says there, it says, "Hello, beautiful." And I thought, it's going to be the Enterprise, isn't it? But it ain't, it's the Titan A. So we see that. There you go, the USS Titan, NCC 80102A. And we learn it's a Neo-Constitution class, a refit of the original Titan. I don't know how they work that out. If it were a refit, it'd be the, what were the original? The original Nova class, the one that Riker was commander of. But I think that were a lot smaller than this. I'm sure it was, anyway. So it wouldn't be a refit, would it? It'd be an entirely new ship. So I think Terry's made a boo-boo there, but never mind. So they get permission to come aboard. They're going aboard. It's a ruse, as Riker puts it. It's a ruse that they're going aboard under the guise of an inspection, by a retired admiral and a high-standing captain for Frontier Day, because Frontier Day is coming up. It must be a Federation holiday thing, and so that's what they're doing. So they go aboard the Titan. They get ready to dock, and here we meet. Picard says, 7 of 9, and she says Commander Annika Hansen. So apparently Captain Liam Shaw of the Titan doesn't like her going by a Borg designation. So she's Commander Annika Hansen, and she seems a bit irked at that. She doesn't like him. She doesn't like Captain Shaw. That is made very clear. Anyway, she welcomes them on board, and they do a quick inspection of these crew members. We get a Vulcan there, and an Orion lady there, and some other aliens and humans, obviously. Oh, is that a Trill? There's a Trill there. Picard, makes a show of adjusting this lieutenant's com badge, straightening it up. And then they go to the bridge. Apparently they're going to have dinner with Captain Shaw later. She said he's busy going over some logs, so he doesn't even have the time to meet an admiral. Even though he was piped aboard, with full ceremony and stuff, that Captain Shaw, is obviously a bit of a knobhead. So here we go. He was on the bridge of the Titan. It's all, all very impressive. And here we meet. This is Sydney LaForge, Geordie LaForge's daughter. I know he's got 2 daughters in this, and one of them is played by his real-life daughter, and one of them isn't, and I can't remember which one. So I'm sorry. This could be LeVar Burton's daughter, or maybe not. I can't remember. But anyway, this is Sydney LaForge. She's I think she's an ensign Sydney LaForge, I think, or is she a lieutenant now? I can't remember. But she's the helmsman of the Titan. And Picard reminds her that her nickname at the academy was Crash LaForge, because she crashed 2 shuttles as a cadet. So she's embarrassed by that. But that's him saying, "Oh, Crash LaForge." So there's that. They've got to leave space dock. So. 7 says, "You want to do the honours, Admiral?" And she says, "Oh no, you do it." And then she says, no, it's not engine room. She says, prepare to go, leave space, don't prepare to go to warp and all that. And Picard says, shouldn't you contact the engineering and say that we're going to go to warp 9.99 or whatever he says. And she says, we don't do that anymore. That's that's the olden days. So anyway, so it's just showing how old he is. So anyway, so they leave space dock, and I was surprised she said 1/4 impulse power. So I thought it was thrusters only in space dock, but never mind. She thinks she's Kirk. I thought just Kirk did left space dock at 1/4 impulse power, because that's pretty fast. But never mind. So anyway, so the leave space dock. Here it goes there. Nice shot there. The Titan A leaving space dock. Cool. This is what we want. There we go. A lot of impulse engines back there. I don't know why. Are they just for the saucer? Can the saucer section detach from these? And that's the impulse drive for the main. For the primary hull, or secondary hull, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Right, so anyway, it goes to warp, which is nice to see. Looks nice from the side, doesn't it? That looks a nice ship from the side. It's got a nice profile. And here it goes, going to go to warp, but not yet. In a minute. Obviously, the Bajoran officer. I wondered if he had the earrings on, and he does. They're on the other side. You can see him there. I can't remember his name. Did a video about it last week. So they're setting off. In a minute, there we go. We're going to see the Titan go to warp. There it goes. Off it goes. Nice to see that again. Good old-fashioned getting into warp. One thing I didn't like, when it shows them at warp, it's not proper, it's the old, looks like hyperspace sort of at warp thing. I thought Terry had done away with that and gone back to the proper way that we see ships at warp, but never mind. Right, then we cut to, this is Liam Shaw, Captain Shaw, and he's eating his dinner, and then they're walking, so he's obviously started without them. He is a bit of a knobhead. He says, "Oh, we're late." And he says, "Not at all. Your reputation's preceded you so much. I started, they entered the room before you did, so that's when I started." So, he's an arsehole, basically. So they sit down, and start dinner, and Admiral Picard tells him he wants... by the way, he gives him a bottle of Chateau Picard, and... he rebuffs that pretty much. He says, I'm more of a something else fan. I don't know what he said. I didn't have the subtitles on, so sorry. So he's not impressed with Chateau Picard. So he's not getting off to a good start. So then he sits down. they all sit down, and then Picard tells him that he wants them to change course, go to the, I'm sure it's Rhyton. It's either Rhyton or Rylon, I can't remember. I think it's Rhyton system. And he says that's, you know, the edge of Federation space. And eventually he says, no, I'm not going to do this. And he says, I'm an admiral. You know, I'm giving you an order. And he says, no, you're an ex-admiral. And Riker says, well, I'm a captain. And he says, well, I'm the captain of the Titan, as Shaw. So no, I'm not going. I've got my orders from people, you know, higher up in Starfleet, and I'll do what they tell me to do, not what you'll tell me to do. So that's like the end of their plan. And then, you know, Shaw buggers off then. He says, I've got stuff to do. So he goes and leaves them eating their dinner. Riker and Picard have got to try and work out what to do next. There we go. Got to work out what to do next. Got to how they're going to get the ship to the Rhyton system. I don't know. So they're walking down the corridor, but then Seven, oh, for God's sake, comes out behind them and says she's watching. She looks good in a Starfleet uniform, doesn't she? Is this hair regulation? It must be. I don't know. He thinks he'd have to have it tied back. You think somebody like Shaw would say, "Tie your hair back, Commander"? Oh, he won't say it like that, would he? He's American. But no. So she knows something's up. Then we cut back to Raffi. She's looking. I presume this is her granddaughter. In season 1, we saw that her son were having a baby with a Romulan woman. So is this that child? I don't know. She seems to have pretty light skin because her son, you know, were kind of, you know, not white, you know, because obviously he's mixed race, at least mixed race, because obviously Raffi's she's black, isn't she, basically? I never know what to say, I never know the words, you know, about digging a hole for myself. But anyway, this, I don't know, I presume this is the granddaughter, but she looks like to be, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years old there, doesn't she? But season 1 were only like 2 years earlier, so I don't know. Maybe they already had a kid. But anyway, she's looking at that, and then she contacts. There you go, Starfleet Intelligence. Let me see, Commander Rafaela Musica. That's her name. She's working for Starfleet Intelligence. We find out. She gets in contact with them, but she doesn't speak to somebody. It's just words on the screen, as though somebody at the other end is typing that in. But I think the computer reads it out. And she's asking for a face-to-face. She wants to know about this red lady, but they won't do it. And then she's told, she said, "You're a warrior." There you go, denied, it says, you know. You're a warrior, you know, this is war, or whatever. I thought, what's she talking about? Whoever it is at the other end doing Starfleet Intelligence. It's a very Section 31 feel to it. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. But she's saying, you know, she needs help. And she needs more funds, you know, to get the information. And she doesn't know what the red lady is. And so basically they tell her, you've got to work it out, you know. Get more information, do your job, basically. That's what she's been told. There you go. That's what she's told. Find the red lady. Oh, you can't see it, never mind. Move that over a bit. There you go. Find the red lady. That's what she's told to do. So that's what she does. She does find it eventually. As we'll see later. Oh, here we go. Here's the Titan at warp. I mean, it's slightly improved, but I still don't like that. I don't like it. Too much hyperspace. It looks more like Stargate. You know, when the ships are in hyperspace in Stargate. That's what it looks like. But they're not in hyperspace. They're at warp. They're at warp speed. So it should just be streaks, shouldn't it? Not big, massive light shows. Teddy, you let me down there. Oh, this is the quarters that they've been assigned by Captain Shaw. Told you he's a knobhead, giving them bunk beds. It reminds him of his academy days, and then they get called to the bridge. Picard's still worried, saying the longer the not at the right-on system, he's more worried about Beverly. Anyway, they get called to the bridge. No, the observation deck, that's it. They get called to observation room, deck, whatever. And it's Seven's there waiting for them, and she asks them what they're doing, what's going on. If they don't tell her, she's going to shove them out of the airlock. That's enough, Commander. But they tell her all about their mission. They've got to get to Beverly. So they go to the bridge and they find out they're coming out of warp. Because comes over, we're coming out of warp, Commander. They're coming out of warp, and they're at the right-on system. So 7 of 9 had disobeyed orders of Captain Shaw and taken them to the right-on system. I hope I'm getting that right. Taking them to Beverly. That's what she's done. So there they are. So they've got to get a shuttle now because they can't go. There's a big nebula there, as you can see, and it's the sensors can't penetrate it. They don't know if anything's there. They think there's a ship in there, but they can't scan it. So they're going to take a shuttle, and she says in exactly 4 minutes, the shuttle is going to be, the shuttle guard or whatever is going to be called away. So they've got 4 minutes to get there. So they set off for the shuttle deck. But then Captain Shaw wakes up. Here he goes. He wakes up, looks out the window, sees they're not where they're supposed to be. Obviously, where they were supposed to be, there was not a big nebula there. So he comes out and asks what the hell's going on. Learns they're in the right-on system. So he demands to know, he says, her career's over now in Starfleet. But then the shuttle's going to be a shuttle's launched. They're told there's an unauthorised shuttle launch, so off it goes. Don't put a tractor beam on it. They don't. Here it goes. Look, cool ship shots. That's what we want in Star Trek. So they head into the nebula. This is berating 7 of 9. Then we cut back to Raffi. She works out who the Red Lady is, and it turns out another member berry coming up here, Eddie. The Red Lady is. Better don't land on it. There you go. The Red Lady is a statue of Captain Rachel Garrett. And if you didn't know, Captain Rachel Garrett was the captain of the Enterprise C, which were lost at the Battle of Narendra 3, protecting a Klingon colony from a Romulan attack. So there we go. So she's got a big red statue. I don't know where it is. It's some Starfleet facility. I don't know where it is. By the way, we can also see some other stuff. There's a ship there. I don't know what that is. Can you see that? Hang on, let's move that over. I don't know what that ship. Hang on, there you go. I don't know what that ship is. Cool design, slightly reminiscent of Voyager, but different. It's got a big cutout there. I don't know what ship that is. Another one there. I don't know that. Is that a Stargazer? I don't know what the Stargazer class. I can't remember. We saw it in last season, didn't we? The new Stargazer. Space dock there. That there. What else we got? And over here, I think we've got the Odyssey class over there. Oh, bloody gone! Pressed the wrong button. There we go. The Odyssey class over there, isn't it? So that could be the Enterprise F or one of the others. I don't know. That's obviously San Francisco, probably. So she knows something's going to happen in San Francisco. So she sets a course for Earth. By the way, she's in the La Serena, I think. It seems to be. It looks like it anyway. There you go. So she sets a course for Earth. So she arrives at Earth pretty quick. I don't know where she was. It must have been close. Another thing that I'm not a big fan of in modern Star Trek. Doesn't take very long to get anywhere. In the old proper Star Trek, the old Star Trek, sometimes it took days and weeks to get places. Particularly at the edge of Federation space. But now they're there just like that, aren't they? I know it helps storytelling, when your characters can zip about, but not very realistic, is it? Anyway, the La Serena arrives at San Francisco, and Raffi's trying to contact Starfleet, telling them that an attack is imminent. Here it is, flying over. She must have some sort of clearance, maybe, to fly over that airspace. I don't know, but she's warning them that there's going to be an attack. But obviously nobody's listening. But it's too late, and then this beam appears around this facility. There's the statue, by the way, the Rachel Garrett statue. Quite big, isn't it? This beam appears, and I thought, all right, it's good. It's cutting round it, but it turns out it's not. It's not actually cutting round, because we find out. Here we go. That all collapses in there. That smoke there is that facility collapsing into the ground, it seems. But then a portal opens here. So it's obviously Doctor Strange is attacking Starfleet, as we'll see. And all the debris from the collapse here comes out of this portal here and comes raining down onto the city. There we go. So kind of reminded me a bit of Avengers: Age of Ultron, with that city fell out of the sky. A bit of that, and a bit of Doctor Strange. I'm guessing now, because Raffi had said earlier that some people had stolen things from a Federation research thing, and she mentioned something about quantum tunnelling. So I'm guessing this is what that is. This is something to do with quantum tunnelling, which it's not really a form of transport. I think quantum tunnelling might be more good for information, stuff like that. Not for really travelling, creating portals. I don't think that's what quantum tunnelling is all about, but that's what it is here. So there you go. So it's falling into the portal there and emerge there to cause more damage on the city. We don't know who's doing this, by the way, because we haven't met the bad guy in this episode yet. We saw them two at the beginning, but they were vaporised. So there you go. So the attack on Starfleet has happened on Earth. So Raffi failed her mission to prevent that. Anyway, back at the Nebula, Riker and Picard, they find the ship. They find Beverly's ship. By the way, the other bit of banter between them. Picard says, "You're loving this, aren't you?" I said, "Of course not." So anyway, they find the ship, and there's there could be two life signs, one critical, one normal. But that's all they can ascertain. So they come in. There we go. The shuttle comes in. Cool shuttle design. Comes in. Look, there you go. There's the size of the ship. That shuttle, it's not super big. It looks, maybe a bit big. It looks smaller than a runabout, doesn't it? Bigger than like a standard shuttle, but smaller than a runabout. So it's about mid-size. So as you see, this ship's not massive. It could be about the same size, maybe, as the Protostar in Star Trek Prodigy. About that size, I think. There's the bridge section there. So what would you reckon? 1, 2, 4 decks at most, probably. I'd say. Anyway, they dock, and then they get ready. Another bit of banter. Picard says his hands haven't shaken so much, since he was a young man. And Riker complains his knees are killing him. So says, so as long as we don't have to move or shoot, we'll be fine. So that was good. So they come on board. Where are we? So they go on board and start investigating. There's nobody around. They find the remains of the vaporised attackers from earlier. This is when Riker's picking up the ash, and he says, what sort of phaser does this damage? So, looked like a standard issue phaser rifle to me. Maybe it was modified. So I'm thinking, was it a disruptor? I thought maybe she got a different weapon, but I don't think she did. So they keep looking round. They split up. Let's split up and search for clues, guys. So they split up. Picard finds Beverly in a stasis pod. There she is. And Riker finds somebody else. He gets captured. Gets marched in at gunpoint. In a moment, there we go. This is Ed Spaliers. And we learn that this is Beverly's son. And then Picard, goes, I'm her son. And then Picard goes, pulls a face. So I think the intimation maybe that he's also Picard's son. Because earlier on in the episode, it kind of suggested that it were talking about friends, but he didn't mention family. And we know that he's the last Picard because his brother and his nephew were killed in the fire, weren't there? There'll be no more Picards. So maybe this is the Terry Metallis's way of continuing the Picard line. So anyway, he lowers his gun and then Riker punches him and takes the gun off him. So he doesn't like being held at gunpoint. But this is where he says he's a son. There you go. Then that's Picard's reaction. Oh. So obviously he's about 20 years old then, isn't he? About, maybe a little bit younger, maybe 19. He looks older than that, doesn't he? He's obviously had a hard life with Bev. She should have lent him some of her Botox. Anyway, something's coming into the nebula, and he says, does Ed Spalier... We don't learn his name, by the way. Ed Spalier says that's the name of the actor. Ed Spalier says, you've led them straight to us. And, take a look. And then we see the ship. It was emerging from the nebula. It's kind of reminiscent, of the scimitar from Nemesis, with overtones of the Narada from Star Trek 09. Which is less said about that, the better. But there it is, and that's how the episode ends. It pulls up in front of the Beverly ship, which is, we don't know the name of that yet either. I didn't see any markings on it. Maybe somebody else saw. Watch Trek Yards, I'm sure they know. Oh, there you go. I'll have to get rid of me again. Where's my webcam? There it is. There you go. It pulls up. Stops in front of the whatever ship, whatever this is called, and that's how the episode ends. I was like, "Oh, crikey!" There you go. That's the end of the episode. There we go. Directed by Doug Arinagakowski. But then we get the Jerry Goldsmith's First Contact score here. So there's more member berries, and we're seeing. Lots of producers, lots of producers on this, but we're seeing nice little things there. Don't know what that is. That's not a Starfleet thing, is it? Is it? I don't know. It doesn't look like it, does it? Is that a Cardassian? I don't know. Oh, is that? That's the ship. Is this on the enemy ship then? Because that looks like the shape of the enemy ship, isn't it? So, Romulan, maybe? I don't know. I'm not up on languages. I don't know what this is. Waveform bypass conduit. Is this like some sort of torpedo? I don't know. Or is this the quantum tunnelling machine? I don't know. Initiating hollow sequence program 10 forward bar LA. Oh, so we're going to see that then. But on the holodeck. Safety protocols off. That's interesting. What's that mean? We're going to have a fight in Guinan's 10 forward, at number 10 Forward Avenue. That's some form of neural pattern. Is that the that's the Titan, isn't it? That's the Titan. Oh, there's another closer look. What was that? Official Starfleet War Damage Report, serial number. Oh, what's this one? USS Constance, Constellation class, lost in action, stardate 44002.3. Oh, that's interesting. Redacted information down there. You see, information obtained in interviews with so and so aboard the USS Constance. Oh, that's interesting. Also, I saw this, when I watched it, but I didn't pause it to read it. So that's a bit of info there. I don't know if that's got any bearing. Space dock with some, ships around. And then I think we just go to regular credits soon. Fleet Museum, Aethan Prime. There we go. USS Voyager. There you go. That's in the Fleet Museum. The USS Pioneer. Oh, that's an old one from Kirk's era, isn't it? NCC 1500. I wanted to scroll down then. I wanted to scroll down. I want to read this page. Oh, there we go. Bit more. Oh, there's obviously it must be rotating. Can't read that. Can we? We're going to see anyone. No, it's blurring out. Oh, yeah, buggers. Then some more ships that we can't see. The sods. Teasing us. Do not seek blame. Do not seek anger. Don't know. Weapon found on site. Disengage investigation. So, is that a clue as to what's coming up? And then just had some special guest stars, by the way, as Jonathan Frakes, Gates McFadden. There you go. And then we're going to cut it. There we go. And then it says for Annie Wershing, who played the Borg Queen in season 2. She passed away recently, so they got that in there, which is nice. There you go. And then we got to the end credits, and that's it. That's the end of episode 1 of season 2. Really enjoyed it. You know, I did have. Hang on, where am I? I've taken myself off. There, I'm back. It wasn't perfect. I did have some problems with it, but the story as a whole were okay. And I want to see more, and I wish it didn't end. And I wish they'd showed 2 episodes. They could have started off the season with 2 episodes, couldn't they? Because it does end, you know, where you're thinking, got to wait a whole week now. And I'm jealous of those people like Robert Marbonette and the Popcast guys and Dave Cullen that have seen it all the way through. Jammy sods. But yeah, I did enjoy it. Lots of member berries, but good ones. Not there just for the sake of it. I want to see what happens next. Not sure about this quantum tunnelling thing, you know, but we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. We'll give it a round of applause. Switched on my soundboard, so I thought, might as well use the bugger. What else? Yeah, I didn't like the hyperspace, you know, warp speed. I didn't like that. Yeah, I liked it where they went into warp with the flash. You know, that's good. But yeah. And what else? What else did I point out? I can't remember. I pointed something else out, didn't I? But I can't remember. But never mind. But as a whole, I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more. Can't wait till next week. But season 2 started off with a good episode, didn't it? Aboard the Stargazer. That started off with a good episode, and season 2 rapidly went downhill. So hopefully this won't. I'm told it's good. Hopefully it'll stay good. If I give this a score, I'd give this a score of 8 out of 10. You know, I really enjoyed it. Couple of niggles. You know, it's just nitpicking, isn't it? Basically, that's where I'm nitpicking it. But as a whole, I did enjoy it. So we'll leave it there. So I've got to go and see to some food that I can actually. I think it might be burning. I can smell it. I didn't expect to be going on for an hour. I'll leave it there. Look forward to episode 2. I don't know what it's called. I should have got stuff up ready, but I haven't. Never mind. Whatever. I'll be more prepared next week. So, thanks for watching. Wherever you are in the universe, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say thee.